nothing else matters. My feet in the stirrups, I'm so happy. There's nothing like the sound of Carolina hooping.
We're here at the Bob Martin Center today in Williamston, and I wanted to come down and talk to Durwood and the staff, Bobby and Keith, and find out what's the magic here. Because this dirt is what makes everybody love to come to Williamston. Everybody I talk to say that this is the best arena footing anywhere in the country, bar none. So stay tuned, and we're going to learn what makes good ground for your horse, whether it's a little mini trotting along pulling a wagon or a reining horse that's sliding. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
People from around the Triangle come to Carolina Barbecue of Garner off Highway 70 because they know what they'll get. Authentic Eastern North Carolina chopped barbecue, Southern fried chicken, hush puppies, Brunswick stew, and more. But did you know that they'll come to you? For your next backyard party, company event, graduation party, weddings, rehearsals, or any other occasion, you bring the people, and Carolina Barbecue of Garner will bring the pig. Call 773-0222.
Follow me to Carolina Barbecue.
We're your neighborhood source for everything you need from your farm to your home.
At Harper Sales and Service, a division of Harper Landscaping, we can cater to all your mowing needs. Whether you need to start out with a beginner series for those smaller lawns, you can work your way all the way up to a zero turn and even get into those bigger areas where you might have an acre or two or more.
My animals depend on me, and I depend on Harper Equipment Sales and Services to keep me running. From my weed eater to my tractor, they can fix it all.
When you look for Harper Landscaping, it's no sweat.
You know, you don't need a PhD in tractorology to understand that more power is a good thing. Mahindra tractors are engineered for maximum power and backed by a 5-year powertrain warranty. Yes, sir, Mahindra tractors even have enough power to give the competition a lift. Take a good look at the world's #1 selling tractor, Mahindra.
With us now is Durwood Taylor, and Durwood is the facilities manager here for the Bob Martin Agricultural Center, and we have a lot of horse shows that are held in this arena. Everywhere I go, everybody tells me that this arena, hands down, has the best footing. So I came to find out what's your secret.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that that compliment. I actually tell everybody that if there's a weak link at our facility, it's me. It's not our guys. They have, dozens of years of experience between them in managing this ground and keeping our shows happy and coming back. I like to kind of put everything into 3 categories with our shows to help them with their success, because we are a partner in it. Mm-hmm. A sound system is certainly very critical to the success of a show.
Absolutely.
The cleanliness and the appearance of the facility is certainly critical to the show, but probably the single most important factor is this ground. And the trick to this ground has been to learn to use what we've got in the area. Most facilities around the country, in fact all facilities around the country, are going to have to use what's available locally. If that weren't the case, then there would just be one arena ground available and everybody would have the same ground. And we all know that's not the case. We have horses come through here of all breeds, showing in all disciplines. We do a lot of open shows, we do a lot of reining shows, we do dressage shows. It's just a wide variety of shows we do. And these horses can be $2,000 horses, or they can be $100,000 plus horses. So it's very critical to the exhibitors that their investment is protected here, regardless of what that investment is. And this is how it happens here.
I guess it would be kind of like a basketball game, so to speak. You got to have the right kind of floor with the right kind of polish so that it makes the athletes able to perform and not get hurt.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with this.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, AstroTurf can be used, you know, in the same argument with professional football and baseball. So it is a very critical part of what we do here. You know, I brag on our staff, and again, I'll say, if there is a weak link here, I'm the one. It's not these guys, because these guys are in the dirt.
So tell me a little bit about your staff that's the key here.
Well, we have myself as an agribusiness manager for the center. We have Keith Whitaker, who is our operations manager. He sees to the day-to-day operation and maintenance of the facility itself and the equipment and the scheduling of the employee for their work. Bobby Long is here with us today, and Bobby is our we have a lot of names for Bobby, all of them good, all of them good. But Bobby's what I call our weekend supervisor. He's a man on the ground during the show that is in charge of what's going on.
True, I guess that's the person that most folks really get to know and see.
And Bobby is the familiar face to people who are in and out on the weekends. Bobby's the one they see 16, 17, 18 hours a day.
Right. All right then, well, let's talk to them. With us now is Keith Whitaker, and Keith is in charge of all the equipment here at the center, and he has a big role in determining what is purchased and what's used in grading the arenas and making sure the footing is right. So Keith, can you tell me a little bit about the equipment that you guys use?
First of all, I'd like to welcome y'all to the Center to Bob Martin, Eastern Agriculture Center. We've been blessed by the state. We have good equipment, but it's like Durwell was talking about, you can have the nicest equipment you want, but if you don't have people like Bobby Long to run it and know what to do, this footing is real sacred. You got to know when to put the moisture in it, not to put too much. We try to keep it around 4 to 7%, which that's hard. We don't have any tools to measure it with other than Bobby's eye when he's on the tractor. So he does an excellent job at that. And arena, you need to keep it maintenance. That's your biggest thing. When you have a show over with, you just can't leave it and wait for your next show. You have to come in here and stay on top of it. You know, keep it wet, keep the moisture in place, and keep it graded and all. So.
Okay, so factors like, you know, when it's sitting here during the week and it's really hot outside, that dries it out a lot, I guess, so it makes it harder to work?
Yes, ma'am. The arena pretty much has his own climate. I mean, if it's damp outside, it rains today, it may stay wet in here, damp for a couple of days afterwards, and dry the same way.
Okay.
So I don't know where your camera can get a shot of it or not, but arenas, they love to slide. That's their main goal, is to slide. And what we do, we try to create a hard base that they can slide on with about 3 or 4 inches of loose on top.
Okay.
And that is their goal. Now, when the barrel people come in, they want it 6 or 10 inches deep and wet.
Okay.
So we do run into a situation. After a barrel show leaves out on a Sunday, and we have a rainy show coming in on that Tuesday, it gives us a very short time to turn it around. So we have to dry it out. And we have these big fans in here that also helps a whole lot. So.
Okay. And this machine, it churns it up and waters it all at the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep. Does it all at one time.
That's interesting.
And it kind of mists, it doesn't put a whole lot out, so you can control it.
Well, that would make a difference, because I guess if you had a lot of water gushing in, it would cause trenches and cracks and stuff.
You can add a little bit, but once you get too much in here, it takes a long time to dry it out.
Right.
So that's the secret with this. You can put just a little bit. And setting up on the tractor, you're setting up elevated, and you can look down and see where your dry spots are, and you can cut it on and cut it off.
Oh, okay. What other kinds of shows do you have in here that would require different kinds of dirt?
Well, you have cutting horses, we have dressage shows, the paint shows and mini shows, open shows, and every horse likes its own type footing, different breeds and all. So.
And mostly that's the depth of the soft dirt that's on top of the compacted base?
An arena is more than just dirt. It's kind of a mentally and physically thing. You want your horse and your rider to feel comfortable that they're not going to hit a hole, a dip, or the ground's going to be consistent.
Very true.
So you want the confidence. The horse, you need the horse to have its confidence, and the rider too also.
That makes good sense. I hadn't really thought about that, but I guess it's a lot like when I'm trail riding and I want to be sure I don't come up on an old stump hole or something and break his leg.
If you're going across water, you don't step in water that's going to be 10 feet deep or something else. So that's
very true. So. With me now is Bobby Long. And as you guys have heard, Bobby is the eye and the magic that makes this arena perfect for your horse. Bobby, can you explain all of this to me? Because I don't know much about tractors and I don't know how all this works.
Well, to start with, this particular drag is hitched to the belly bar on the tractor. And everything about the drag is hydraulic, from the lifting to the lowering We've got a leveling blade on front of it that we use. Most of the time I run it right level with the ground, so if there's any high places as I pull it. Sapphire teeth, I used those this past weekend, as I said earlier.
Is that this?
That's these right here.
Okay.
I pulled the drag out on the cement and dropped the lift, and I dropped the sapphire teeth to that depth.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be any lower ruts in the land.
And the hydraulics kind of hold that down. Like I know when Daddy had a tractor, we had to put concrete blocks on it.
Once you put it where you want it, it stays there.
Okay. And what do these things do? They like fingers to kind of...
That's the tags. That's what we actually work the ground with. And there's 4 rows of them, and there you can see they're differently located, so it's tearing up the whole ground as you go. Also, we have a water tank on this. Once get the ground wet, most of the time I can keep the moisture in it with just that and these sprayers.
Okay, and then the water comes through here and sprays it all along. That's really neat. There's a sprayer on the back too? Just on the front?
Just the front.
Okay. Durwood, how hard is it to keep up with all the diversity of the different kinds of shows? Because you have just about a different show every week, don't you?
We do. We have a different show, and the way it works, it just seems like there's a different breed or a different discipline coming every week. Very seldom do we have 2 reining shows back to back or 2 quarter horse shows back to back. It'll be a barrel show and then a reining show, you know. So it does get complicated. And again, I'll go back to the staff and put it there in their hands. You know, we're just blessed to have the experience we have with Keith and Bobby and the other guys. They know what to expect before the show even gets here.
Right.
You know, we go to such extremes with barrel horses who want it as deep as possible, to the miniature horses where everything's either in hand or harness, and you know, they want it almost packed. So, you know, we do go to a lot of extremes, but these guys are great in knowing what to expect and trying to stay a step ahead of show management and knowing what they're going to ask for before they ask for it.
I know when I'm looking at your schedule to decide which shows to film that a lot of the same shows come over and over and over again, and it's been that way for a long time. You must satisfy your customers very well.
Well, we hope to. We certainly try to, but I just have to go back to experience and relate it all back to the experience of the staff and what they know about the shows.
I hope you've enjoyed watching today while we learn a little bit about arena footing. This facility is one of 4 that's owned by the North Carolina Department of Agriculture. They're scattered all over the state, and as the show moves along, we'll be filming different horse shows and different venues that covers those facilities. So we've learned a lot about from the contents of the soil, the depth, the water, and the equipment used to make it work for every type of horse.
My name is Scott Brookins, and I am the owner of Brookins Construction and MD Barn Master of the Carolinas. At MD Barn Master, we have the best warranty in the business. We have a variety of designs to choose from. Our barns are easily customizable to meet your needs. We have financing available to those who qualify. Our barns are fire resistant, and they hold their value with little maintenance. Let us build your dream barn for you today.
If you don't use a typewriter or rotary dial telephone, then why still water your horse with a bucket? Horse lovers everywhere are discovering the automatic and non-electric benefits of the Barbari horse drinker. The water from the horse drinker is clean and comes out warmer in the winter and cooler in the summer. After each drink, the bowl empties with no standing water from mosquito eggs, nor the bad tasting water that can come from algae. It's time to update your watering method. Winter or summer, Barbari is the way to water your horses in the 21st century.
Make plans now to attend this year's Southern Horse Festival Cowboy Up, sponsored by the North Carolina Horse Council, September 12th through the 14th in the Southeastern Agricultural Center in Lumberton, North Carolina. Bring the whole family. Friday night will feature all kinds of horse entertainment, an auction. Saturday morning will start out with ranch sorting, barrel racing Saturday night. Sunday we will feature a kids rodeo section, and there will be fun and food for all the family. Make plans to attend. For more information, go to the North Carolina Horse Council website.
I'm Dr. Anthony Blixlager, one of the clinicians at the NC State Vet School, and I'm here today to talk to one of my colleagues, Dr. Brian Gilger, who is a specialist in ophthalmology. So, Brian, tell us a little bit about the service here. What makes it special? How does it differ from other vet schools?
Yeah. Here at NC State University, we have the Equine Ophthalmology Service. We're one of the few universities that actually have a service dedicated for the research and treatment of horses. We have a whole group of clinicians and residents that are dedicated just for treating eye diseases in horses. Unfortunately, horses very commonly have eye problems. It's one of the more common problems that horses do get. And the common problems include corneal disease or corneal infections, cancer of the eye, and also a condition called uveitis, which is inflammation inside the eye. Uveitis is very common in horses. It's the leading cause of blindness in horses. And most people know this disease as a term that's called moon blindness. It's really an autoimmune disease, and we can treat it with treatments such as cyclosporin. And medications like cyclosporin can be delivered to the eye, and has been shown to very nicely suppress the moon blindness, the recurrence of the uveitis.
And then how about other things that may be a little bit more obvious to people? What should they look for example, in a horse that might have a scratch or beginnings of an ulcer to its eye?
Yeah, so ulcers or corneal diseases are also very common in horses. And here in the southeastern United States, we have a lot of infectious keratitis, a lot of fungus infections of the eye. The hot, humid weather here in North Carolina make this a very common problem. So anytime that we have a painful or cloudy appearing eye, we really should have a veterinarian look at our horse.
What about some other problems, perhaps that people think a little bit more about when it comes to human health? Like, for example, do they get cataracts ever, or things like that?
Horses also have diseases that are very common in people. Cataracts are common in horses, and also a condition called glaucoma is common in horses. And then glaucoma is a disease that is common in people, but it's when the pressure inside the eye builds up. And we can also treat that with medications very similar to the way it's treated in humans.
Let's see. What are some of the ways that we medicate in a hospital, or maybe I should say, why would somebody need to leave a horse here to be treated?
Yeah, some of the conditions that we have, especially infections of the eye or the cornea, have to be treated hourly. And it's very difficult for somebody to treat the horse every hour. Horses don't like it very well, and it's a lot of work. And so here at the university, we have ways that we can treat the eye by putting catheters in the eye that can allow treatment around the clock.
Oh, I see. And then you mentioned toward the beginning a little bit about cancer of the eye. So can you tell us about that, and maybe which horses will be at risk of that?
Yes. So cancer is very common, and the type of cancer we see is actually skin cancer. That's associated with sun exposure. And so skin cancer, especially of the skin right around the eye, is very, very common. And that's the type of cancer is actually squamous cell carcinoma.
If somebody's going to go and buy a horse, should they have the eyes checked? Is that an important thing to do, or not so much?
Yeah, so it's very important. Vision's very important for horses, especially performance horses. And so before you purchase a horse, it's very important that a thorough eye exam be performed by your veterinarian.
Brian, I was wondering if you could explain how an owner might notice what's wrong with a horse that would indicate there was an eye problem. How are they going to see that?
Yeah, so there are two things that we want to look for if there's an eye problem. One is if there's any discomfort, any squinting, any watery discharge from the eye. That's important. And also if we think there's any vision loss. And there's lots of different ways we can look for vision loss, but the most important thing is a horse bumping into the stall as it goes in and out. Is it reluctant to go into areas that are dark, like into a dark stall? Or does a horse, when it goes out into the sunlight, all of a sudden start to squint or have any watery discharge? So those are three things we really look for a vision problem in a horse.
I was wondering if you ever get horse owners that complain that they're concerned their horse spooks very easily, or perhaps can't see as well as they think, maybe trips as they jump, something like that.
Yeah, we very commonly have horses that we examine horses that the owner is concerned about missing jumps or reluctant to go over jumps. And fortunately, very, very uncommonly is that associated with eye problems. Usually that's associated with painful back or some orthopedic problems. But it's always important if you have a horse that's reluctant to jump over a jump, or especially when it used to do it before, have an eye exam performed, make sure the eye is not the problem, and then look at other parts of the horse.
And then just a final thing about ophthalmologists. So we've got veterinarians out there in the field. Just to be clear for horse owners, can their veterinarian do eye exams, or does that always involve an ophthalmologist?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think your general practitioner veterinarian can do a very good eye exam, and most of them know exactly what to look for. There are some special diagnostics that can be done here at the university, but fortunately your local veterinarian can do a very nice eye exam, and that would be the first place to start.
Hi, my name's Paul Dunn. I'm from Mule City Feeds here in Benson. I'm a member of the Benson Area Chamber of Commerce, and these are my mules. We want to invite you to come to Benson Mule Days in September. It'll be the 4th weekend, and starting on Thursday, we're going to have a concert. It's free. Please come see that. On Friday, we'll have the mule events. It's just like a horse show. You come, you bring your mules, you come sit in the stand, see what happens. The most fun thing that happens all day long is the mule race. On Saturday, it's really a great event where we have a parade like none other in the state of North Carolina. There's about 2,000 horse and rider and wagons. Saturday afternoon, we have a bluegrass show, and Saturday evening, we have more rodeos and street dances, and there's plenty of carnival rides for the kids. On Sunday, we finish up with a rodeo and more carnival rides. Look forward to seeing you. Come on down to Mule Day this September.
The North Carolina Horse Council was established in 1972. We are a nonprofit organization that puts every dollar received back into supporting and working for our members. We are a volunteer organization that is supported by people just like you, with passion and energy.
Hi, I'm Sue Gray, Executive Director of the North Carolina Horse Council, and I'd like to share with you today a few reasons of why I would like you to join us. We are your voice. We work on rules and regulations that help you use and enjoy your horses each and every day. There's power in numbers. We have over 306,000 horses in North Carolina, making us 8th in the nation. We also have over 53,000 households owning horses with multiple owners within those households. And we are a $2 billion industry adding to the economics of the state of North Carolina. Power in numbers. We ask you that we can go and help to protect those privileges as we move forward. But we do more than that. We also do grants, and we help to preserve land and protect our trails, and we support youth groups and other equine associations throughout the state. And here as we sit in Lumberton today, we're working to build the Southeastern Agricultural Event Center into a mega horse park for the state of North Carolina. Come join the herd. We need you.
Hi, I'm Rose Cushing, and as publisher of Carolina Hoofbeats magazine and a breed farm owner myself, I joined the North Carolina Horse Council because I was interested in the laws and rules and regulations that would affect me as a horse owner as well as my business. I've gotten very involved in it, and we've put on all kinds of events to help the equine industry and raise money for different projects. It's been a great experience, so if you haven't joined the North Carolina Horse Council yet, be sure and join the herd soon.
Hi, I'm Alan Harper. I serve on the executive board of the North Carolina Horse Council. The Horse Council fights for the right of horse owners in North Carolina. We're currently working on the right to ride, which is very important. It gives horse owners a place to ride our horses in North Carolina on state-owned lands. I have a diverse background in horses. I've served on the North Carolina High School Rodeo Board, served as president 2 years ago, and I've also served as president of International Shrine Horse Patrol. So we, being me and my family, are very involved in the horse industry. I've owned horses all my life and believe in what the Horse Council has to offer. It's a minor membership fee of $12 a year, and you'll represent it very well in Raleigh. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jerry King from Parkton, North Carolina. I train horses out of a facility there. We've been working there for several years, and I'm on the board of the North Carolina Horse Council, and the reason I did was to try to help promote the horse industry in our state and what this facility here could do for the horse industry, and to gather the stalls up. We're trying to raise money here to build the stalls and promote the stalls This is a very good facility here, great location, a bunch of good people around here. So everything we're doing here this weekend is to promote the growth of this facility and for the horse industry, which reaches not just horses, but feed, tack, fuel, motels, and every industry that you could think of.
So why don't you stand beside me, come and join the herd, and be a member of the North Carolina Horse Council and take advantage of the many benefits that it has to offer you and your horse, and let's ride the trail together.
We welcome you to join us and be part of the largest and most active horse council in America.
Thank you for calling Mule City Feed. This is Thomas. Oh, hi, Mr. Felder. How are you doing? Oh, you need some feed today? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, you know what? We're actually headed your way. Yeah, we can have you loaded and out of here and on your farm in 2 hours tops. Yes, sir.
We don't want to just sell you feed. We want you to tell us what you want for your animals. We want to deliver quality to you in hours and not days.
Next week, the Hoofbeats crew head to Tarboro, North Carolina to visit with Paul and Tammy Thurston of Thurston's Quarter Horses. Both Paul and Tammy are nationally titled riders as well as trainers, and they spend a little time to explain showing Western Pleasure and Hunt Seat. Sounds easy, but there's a lot to it. Be sure and watch this informative segment because this just might be the new sport for you. For local programming information and times that our show airs, please go to our website, CarolinaHoofbeatsTV.com.
Carolina Hoofbeats is brought to you in part by Newcomb Quarter Horses. Newcomb Quarter Horses with over 40 years experience. Find out how we can help you today. NewcombQuarterHorses.net. And also by Carolina Hoofbeats Magazine, a free publication about the horse industry in North Carolina. Catch up on the latest issue at CarolinaHoofbeats.com. And also by Southeast Equine Magazine, a free publication about the horse industry in the southern United States.
Sitting high in the saddle, nothing else matters. My feet in the stirrups.